All right. I believe we are live in Facebook now. I am joined today. I'm so pleased. I'm joined today by the incredible Shelley Jean. Nice to have you here.
Hey.
Um, like I said, we have partners watching who were really eager to hear from you. I'm sure many people have heard, who are watching, have heard from you before, maybe even heard you speak at a Trades of Hope event before, maybe spoke with you in Haiti, but I just in case, I want to make sure we cover all the basics. We cover everything that is important to you, your story, and ultimately our partnership together. So I don't need to put words in your mouth, Shelley. Do you mind introducing yourself and just sharing a bit about who you are?
So my name is Shelley, and I'm a mom of 4 kids. I have 2 biological and 2 adopted from Haiti. My story is pretty much how I got introduced to Haiti is that I wanted to add to my family through adoption. I had trouble having kids, and so I always wanted a big family. So I started looking at adoption, and I'm kind of an all-in sort of person. And so when I thought about adopting from Haiti, I decided that I was going to go to Haiti and go visit an orphanage and just make sure that it was legit and just kind of see what was going on down there. So I spent a week in an orphanage in 2007 in Haiti. And during my time there, I pretty much had an entire paradigm shift that changed my life forever. In that I realized that all of the kids in the orphanages had parents who were alive, who had just relinquished them because of poverty. And my most poignant moment was having a mom knock at the gate and bring little snacks and treats and hugs and kisses for her child who was inside the orphanage. And at that time I had 2 biological kids, and I was like, oh my goodness, how hard this must be for this woman to leave her child because she can't afford to feed him. And what can we do to help these moms out? And so my heart just did a 180, and I really started focusing on parents and how do we enable and empower women and men in Haiti to be able to keep their children and not overcrowd orphanages with kids who have parents. And so that's really where my journey began in Haiti. So
I think that is the beginning point of your story of how people discover Haiti and the beauty of Haiti and the obstacles that Haiti face as a nation. I think starts for a lot of people with international adoption. I mean, that is the reason why Gretchen and I are here today at Trades of Hope. Is her desire as also a mother too, to grow our family through adopting. And I think she always jokes she didn't even know where Haiti was on a map when she got on an airplane to head there. So I think there's a lot of relatability in what you're saying. And I think all mothers, me not being one myself, but I would venture to say that all mothers can relate to the shock of learning mothers say goodbye to their children at orphanages. So what I'm assuming that whole experience led to you founding Papillon in your artisan community, but what happened from there after you discovered that these children have parents?
So after spending the week in the orphanage, I ended up moving to Haiti full time 9 months later. And it was a very clear just decision that that's what I wanted to do with my life. And so moved to Haiti in 2008, and I spent a year actually living in an orphanage because, when you land on the ground there, you don't know what you're doing, and, you need to learn some things. You need to learn about the culture, the language, all that stuff. But it was interesting because that year living in an orphanage only gave me more of an insight into what orphanages are like for kids, how they're not a replacement for a family, and how much when God decided to put kids in families, he really knew what he was doing. And so an orphanage really, bless people who, who help starving, dying babies 100%. But it's like, that really is something that we should use as a last resort for children. And I feel like a lot of times the humanitarian movement in the American church and everybody rallies around the idea of orphan care in that they support orphanages, which can often lead to more orphans as opposed to supporting families who can then take care of their kids, which then is orphan prevention. And that's really what we're all about. So I lived in an orphanage for a year. And then after that moved out, I identified during that year 4 women who were at risk for giving their children up to orphanages, just they didn't have any means to take care of them. And we started working with them a couple days a week, making like horrible jewelry that I was selling on Facebook, and begging my friends to buy $10 bracelets and literally giving them, the money after it sold on Facebook so that they could buy groceries for that week. And that's really how we started. The earthquake played a huge role because a lot of eyes turned to Haiti after the earthquake, and people started seeing Haiti for what was going on there. That's about the same time that I met up with Trades of Hope and with you guys, and we really started working together to create awesome products that were made from Haiti that people could sell. So
I remember that day because Trades of Hope 2 was a product born out of the earthquake, which is a big part of Gretchen's story and why she felt so passionately to found Trades of Hope. And so I remember that. It must have been little over a year maybe after the earthquake. I remember meeting you. We were just chatting about this. I was 15, barely in high school. I remember meeting you. It was a big day for you. You had some big clientele walk in and out that day. And yeah, I remember meeting you and that being the beginning of this partnership. And this call is so well timed because yesterday we released this terracotta bracelet, and I love it. It's one of our like thinner bracelets from your community, and so I love wearing it with other ones, and it's just like a different art form from our cereal box bead bracelets that we have, which, does not mean this is the end of cereal box beads bracelets. I think come fall, some people will be very happy. But yeah, we launched this yesterday. So it's just so well timed, our conversation. It just happens like that. When does life ever go that well timed? So can you tell us a little bit more about, obviously orphan prevention is a big reason why job creation is so big, but can you speak a little bit more to that as far as the need for jobs in Haiti and what that means kind of long-term and big picture for the country?
Yeah. So from when we started, around 2010-ish, working with Trades of Hope, maybe 2011, things went really well. All the way up until 2018, we were just growing. We were on an upward momentum. Things were great. We kept hiring more artisans. We got to 300 or 400 people we were employing. And then in 2018, there was a shift in the political situation in Haiti, and it became very violent and it became very difficult to work. And because of that, we lost a lot of our capability and I lost a lot of business. So that happened. Then in last year, of course, COVID happened, which hit us even harder. To piggyback on that, and this is just extremely current, last night in the middle of the night, the president of Haiti was assassinated. And that's been something that's been, there's been a lot of political situations, like kind of storms leading to this moment. Haiti's pretty much gang ruled right now. So you've got all of these precious people. They're stuck in this situation they can't get out of. There's no way for them to make their situation better. The only lifeline they have is if we continue to do our job, we continue to sell well for them, we continue to sell the heck out of the Haitian made products, knowing full well that they need it now more than ever. Sometimes it feels like with all of this instability and COVID and political situations that we're dealing with, like we should just pack up and go home because it's just not worth it. And really, honestly, the opposite is the exact truth, is that we have to dig in. Right now, we have to dig in and we have to support artisans, specifically in countries like Haiti, that these people aren't going to have another choice. If we don't sell for them, they don't eat, you guys. Like, so when you're selling at your parties, when you're doing your thing, throw in like upsell. Come on now. You know what I mean? Like that bracelet that Elizabeth has on right now, it's an aromatherapy bracelet. You can put little oils on it. So cute. Can go with anything. I mean, everyone needs an extra one of those when you're selling at your parties, because the thing is that these artisans don't have another option. And so we as a community of women mostly are coming alongside them in a very tangible way. And I wish to God I could show you guys like a bird's eye view into my life when I'm down there, and to see you guys, I get to see them working at their tables. I get to see them making this stuff, and it's incredible. And people are coming to work, and prosperity is happening, and lives are being changed, and kids are going to school, and people are eating, all because of that little bracelet she has on her wrist, you know? So it's real. And I get to see it. My job is to explain it and hopefully communicate to you guys the reality of the situation, and also knowing that they can't go get another job somewhere else. It's either we sell what they make or nothing. And so I guess I'm talking too much maybe, but I just implore, you know, everyone here listening to, I just want to encourage you that what you do is real and it's making a difference. And the more you sell, the more impact you're having. And I mean, of course, I'm going to put a plug in for Haiti stuff, you know, above other things, because that's what I care about. I mean, in terms of like, I get to see it firsthand, but especially right now with all of the things that are going on against Haiti, it's even more important to, when those new products come out from Haiti, I mean, upsell those suckers. You know what I mean?
I love
So.
that. And honestly, I know that I'm not the only one. While you were talking, like that felt a little like flicker, a little flame in her heart, like, oh my gosh, yes, we should just do this, because it is so easy. Even in my position, who communicates with, you know, people like you, heads of other artisan communities, pretty much on an almost daily basis, it's still easy to forget the direct correlation. And so your call, you imploring us to keep in mind that there is a direct cause and effect chain reaction of selling a bracelet and what happens to an individual, a family, or community if we sell enough bracelets in Haiti. And so I know it's probably all the more easy for our partners who are watching, who are just at home, maybe isolated, maybe they don't have other partners to talk to about this. I'm sure it's so easy to forget that direct correlation. So I know I'm not the only one who appreciates that. It made me think of two more questions. One, I'm sure it would be helpful to hear, I don't know if anyone comes to mind, like someone maybe recently, maybe not, who has, because I'm sure things have been difficult this year because of COVID, but some kind of story or individual who has seen a direct correlation from this. And again, this could be from when you were growing and booming, because ultimately that's where we want both of our organizations to get back to. So can you share maybe a story or situation where you have seen sales equal a changed life?
Yeah, I mean, so I've got a million like names that I can throw out there. First of all, I'll just say that I was just in Haiti last week. And while I was there for the week, they were working on Trades of Hope jewelry. And because I really wanted to carry it all back with me to make sure that the product got done in time and, you know, there wasn't any shipping delays, etc. I invited everyone to stay double time. So the entire week that I was there, people were working double shifts, which you can imagine, like all of a sudden, you know, you just get this boom of twice as much work in 1 week, and what that does for your finances. And just seeing people work, you know, from early in the morning until late at night. And of course, voluntarily, like, you know, they have the opportunity to, or if they don't want to or can't, they don't have to, obviously. But just the opportunity was there, and just seeing 50, 60, 70 people there every day, you know, stringing together Trades of Hope bracelets that I'm not allowed to put all over the internet because it's a secret what they're making, right? But but like when I post those pictures, you know, like, and I'm talking about the artisans working, you know, it's Trades of Hope, you know what I mean? Like it's Trades of Hope that's doing this, it's selling this. And so, you know, someone like Mackenzia, who, you know, I wrote about her in my Shelley and Haiti book. She has about 5 kids, and she had 1 twin that died. And I told that story, but she was there last week, and she hasn't been getting enough work. And she's got all these kids, you know, and they've pretty much been raised with Papillon because she's been working for 10 years now. And, you know, now she's got kids the same age as mine. They're like 10 and over, almost adults. And those kids have been raised, gone to school. She's got a house she lives in, all of those things because of the work that we are doing, all of us together, you know? And Yeah. So, I mean, I've got a million names like that. I mean, a lot of times I hate it because it sounds redundant. It's the same story. A woman is able to take care of her kids. It's like, it seems so mundane, but it's powerful. What if you couldn't take care of your kids, you know?
Yeah.
So just to be able to feed your kids, do you know that like they have tricks of what they do with their kids when their kids are hungry? I mean, they put salt on their tongues so it makes them thirsty so that they'll drink lots of water. It'll fill up their bellies and they can go to sleep. I mean, they tell me these things and I'm thinking to myself, as a mom, what if I had to have tricks of how to get my kid to go to sleep on an empty stomach? And the fact that these women aren't having to do that, that they're able to give them nutritious meals and send them to school, it's a freaking miracle what we're doing. Like
Yeah.
that bracelet means a kid isn't having salt put on their tongue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So please know that that bracelet holds more meaning than you can ever imagine as you sell it at your shows and as upsell all of the Haitian products. um, it has real impact, and I guess I can't stress that enough.
Yeah. Another question that came to mind that I'm sure will, if it hasn't yet hit the minds of other partners, is obviously there is such a black and white difference when bracelets are selling and when they're not selling. And just using bracelets as an example, because that's what we have here. And the desperate situation in Haiti made even worse by the events of last night. I know our partners view themselves as advocates for this situation in Haiti. And there's such a climate, even online right now, about sensitivity and advocating respectfully. Like, do you have any thoughts as the woman in between? How do we communicate a desperate situation in a really dignified way, knowing that some of our partners have met some of these women and men that work in Papillon, like, because I feel your passion and I just think I want to tell everyone how horrible things are in Haiti so they buy bracelets and help this situation and help so children don't have to put salt on their tongues at night. Like, how do we step in that in between in a way that is that accurately portrays the situation, but is respectful?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky right now in our political climate to be able to voice things articulately in a way that's not offensive, right? One of the things that I do is I really focus on potential. So when we're talking about people, we're not talking about what's against them, but we're talking about what they have in them to become better. And so we're just coming alongside to tap into that potential that's already there. You know, we tap into their creativity, their intelligence, all the things that God has put within them, but that they have been unfortunately put in a situation that it can't come out in the same way it does for us because they don't have the path. And so it's the idea of inviting them to the table of the world economy where they've been put off, where they've been marginalized. We get to bring them into that prosperity that we have access to. And so we are the bridge. We sell that for them, but it's their beauty, it's their creation, it's their awesomeness that is really what is being highlighted. And it's their potential. They can do everything. They just are stuck in this situation that none of us were born into here. And we're so fortunate that we are not in a place that limits us so much. And so, yeah, I think really not highlighting the poverty in that sense, not highlighting the desperation, not highlighting those things, because it can make people feel like we think we're the savior or something like that. But really just celebrating what they can do and what their capabilities are, and really focusing on that, I think is a honoring way to empower and come alongside them. I hope that kind of answers that question a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And, you're always so helpful I know in the moment when you have 100 things going on, I know it doesn't always seem like, the most important or whatever, but you're always so helpful getting us information about, the women that you work with personally, like just a name, a face, a bio, so we can not represent her through her poverty, but who she is just as a human. And so I really appreciate that, you getting us that information. What is what is on the horizon? What's next for you guys? What do you want to see happen? Other than more, more orders and more sales, like, is there something you're looking forward to or excited about or wanting in this next season for Papillon?
Like I said, the harder the political situation gets, the more that we're needed. And also the more challenging it is. So it's kind of a catch-22. But the truth of the matter is that if the orders can just keep coming, then people can keep getting empowered. It's almost like despite everything underneath it all, we can continue to thrive and we can continue to see people thrive. And it doesn't, like, that stuff doesn't have to touch them. You know what I mean? And so we get to be a part of that. So obviously, like, I still have in my heart, like, these great dreams for expansion. Like, it feels like we're on that roller coaster and we're at the bottom, but it can go up again and it will go up again, And I just feel like the only way that we fail is in quitting, And so I'm going to keep going. And because even if there's only 1 or 2 artisans left, they're still worth our time, And thankfully, I'm going to start crying now. That's what happens when I start talking about them. Like, we still have several hundred, and several hundred means 1,000 people, because they've got families. And so it's like, you guys, you're impacting 1,000 people, that's incredible, but I want 10,000. How about you? You know what I mean? So for every 1 bracelet that you sell 5, you know what I'm saying? Because 5-fold is 10, is, what is that? I can't do the math. 5,000 people, you know what I mean? And that's no small thing.
Yeah.
So I am never going to stop hoping for growth. I'm never going to stop hoping for things to be way better than they've ever been. And that someday we stand alongside of them, with them not necessarily being in such a bad spot, and where we can stand next to them, loving them as, as partners that, where they've elevated to have the same opportunities that we have as women in America.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so motivated by everything that you said, because, Trades of Hope's, roller coasters of ups and downs have really mimicked the one that you're describing your organization has gone through. And it can be so hard to not feel that same momentum, remembering days past when orders just flowed in so freely, so abundantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be hard because the obstacle in front, and I know you feel this tenfold, feels so big and so hard. And you're talking to people face to face, whereas, at least at Trades of Hope, we, like I said, you are the in between us. And so, I feel so motivated, and I have absolutely no doubt other partners feel motivated, knowing the obstacles that Haiti specifically face, the current political climate following last night's events, and then, of course, just like the roller coaster of business that changes, as markets change and stuff like that. Hearing your optimism, Shelley, if you can be optimistic about it and still dream of 10,000, so can I. And I know that the partners watching can as well. So I really, really appreciate that. Do you have any other thoughts, anything else that you want to leave the partners with before we go?
I think it's important for me just to mention that Trades of Hope has always been just an awesome organization to work with. I think it's important for you guys, for, people listening in, to know that from my perspective, when they say that they always pay asking price, that they're fair, that they treat us well, that they really are looking to do right by their artisan partners. Like, I can vouch for that. And I think I just want to make sure to give confidence to people listening in that that's 100% my experience. And this is going on, 10 years now. So that's really important for me. The other thing is that, like, again, and I can't say it enough, Trades of Hope has impact. And, if you go out and if you sell 1 more bracelet, if you sell 5 more bracelets, if you sell, one more thing at the end of your it doesn't seem like much to sell one more thing, but it matters, because you think about a woman sitting at a table for 15 or 20 minutes, and that's just to put the bracelet together. That doesn't even count the bead makers and the clay diggers and the glazers and all the people that were part of that bracelet. One more bracelet makes a difference. One more day's work. What if you didn't have work and you had one more day's work? You know, that's one more meal. So I just really want to encourage people to believe in the impact, to know that it does matter what you're doing. And if you have any questions, like you want me to tell you that again and again, you know, I'll tell you that again and again personally or whatever, because I want to encourage you to not stop, because I'm not stopping and I need you, you know? So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I know Gretchen, I myself, we are not stopping. Our home team is not stopping. And I can only imagine the fire that you have reignited in partners today. So thank you, Shelley, so much for your time. I'm sure today is a chaotic day for you as well. So thank you for just this conversation and honestly pouring into us, which I feel like is kind of the last thing you probably needed to do today, but it really means a lot. And I have no doubt that the impact that you're making in us is hopefully going to turn twofold into this partnership and mean more families are impacted. So thank you.
Awesome. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you, Shelley. Have a good day. Bye.
All right, bye, Elizabeth. Bye-bye.